Hey friends, what's up? Phillip here with Points of Phillip, and I'm actually here because, well, I saw an interesting interview, and shout out to Matt S. for bringing it to my attention because, well, this is really interesting about the Citi Strata Elite. So Gonzalo Luchetti works with Citi, and he actually came on CNBC to discuss or to sell, in his words, the card to people that were relatively well off, right? To elites and to, kind of help sell the idea of this card. And what he said was really interesting. So without further ado, let's get to it.
We are targeting really the affordable luxury space, right? We really wanted all of the savvy, affluent customers. So what we aim for, and this was on the back of research, customers were telling us in droves, we really want simplicity, we want flexibility, I don't want to have a PhD in order to understand what the benefits look like.
Okay, so what I wanted to focus on with that little segment is he's, first of all, promoting his card, which as a Citi executive, of course, right? It's a brand new card. They're more or less excited about it. Some people are also more or less excited about it. But the situation is interesting. So CNBC, the last time I saw a credit card executive pitching a credit card on CNBC was the Robinhood Gold Card. And so this card here earns 3% back on everything. And during that interview, Robinhood CEO Vlad Tenev actually said that, well, first of all, he didn't promise that 3% would stay around very long. But what he did say was that, well, they would earn back on the economics of people carrying a balance. And, well, that seems to be their strategy is actually playing out that way because, well, this card, the Robinhood Gold Card, has a 35% APR. And, well, I'm never ever going to carry a balance on this card, but it's important to note that. But anyway, now we're talking about Citi. So Citi's executive here, Gonzalo Luchetti, talked about simplicity, and he talked about the need for basically high-profile customers to want simplicity in their lives, to kind of try to be able to have a premium travel card that they didn't need a PhD for, in his words, right? You don't need a PhD in order to understand some of these credits. At least that's what he's saying with the Citi Strata Elite. And, well, it made me wonder, okay, so if that's what they're talking about the card, how accurate is it? So let's go ahead and break down the card and, well, we'll analyze or evaluate whether or not, well, this card is actually simple, right? Let's get into it. So the Citi Strata Elite card here was recently announced. For those of you that don't know, well, I'm just going to go through the quick run through so we can kind of be on the same page. So this card has an annual fee of $595. Now, it also does have an authorized user fee of $75, which is substantially less than any of the other premium travel cards. So like the American Express Platinum currently has an annual fee of $695 and an annual authorized user fee of $195. Now, it's theorized that's going to increase, and we can talk about that. But what also is true of the Chase Sapphire Reserve is that that also has an annual fee of $795, and it has an authorized user fee of $195. So right off the bat, the Citi Strata Elite card appears to be a better deal. Now let's take a look at this sign-up bonus. So you can earn 80,000 points after spending $4,000 over the first 3 months. And that's kind of a ho-hum bonus. Like, for example, with the American Express Platinum card, you can get as much as 175,000 points. Now you do have to spend $8,000 over the course of 6 months, but it is doable for the target customer. Now, I have heard of people being able to call into a Citi branch, a physical branch, call in, and they're able to email you an application link for the 100,000 point sign-up bonus. So I don't know how quickly they're going to close that or if they will close it, but that does seem to be the case, at least as of the recording of this video. So let's get into kind of this card. So it's pitched as an elite travel card, and I'm going to have to put the travel in quotes here because, well, the only kind of travel that you earn is directly with Citi Travel Portal. So you get 12 points per dollar on hotels, car rentals, and attractions booked through cititravel.com. So if you have a $1,000 hotel stay, then you're going to get 12,000 Citi thank you points. And Well, that could be good because it could be 12,000 JetBlue miles. It could be 12,000 American airline miles. The world is your oyster. Now, you also, for airfare, you also get 6 points per dollar on air travel booked on citytravel.com. And so that's it. That is the end of the travel multipliers with this card. Now, that's kind of frustrating because, well, it's a MasterCard with no foreign transaction fees, which means it would be a candidate for being a travel card. And at least the Chase Sapphire Reserve has 4 points per dollar on flights and hotels booked directly, so you can take it with you for those purchases. Now, it gets interesting. So again, we're going to go back to Lichetti talking about simplicity being the reason for the card. Let's take a look at this next multiplier here. It's 6 points per dollar at restaurants on city nights purchases. So that's Friday. So it's dining purchases from Friday, 6 p.m. through Saturday at 6 a.m. So, and it's Eastern time. So if you live in Hawaii, you have to know what the time zone is in New York in order to be able to actually earn 6 points per dollar. And so, well, if they're talking about simplicity, if they're talking about not needing a PhD to use the card, this definitely seems to not be that. So let's take a look at the other one. So the other multipliers are 3 points per dollar on just every dining purchase, and then 1.5 points per dollar on all other purchases, which is kind of nice because in one card you have a travel card if you're friends with Citi Travel, but then you also get a dining card and you also get a catch-all card. Now, Citi does have the Citi Double Cash, which earns 2 points per dollar on every purchase, 1 point when you pay for it, and 1 point when you make the purchase, and another point when you actually pay off the card. But so this could work as an all-in-one situation, but it's certainly not the best option. But at least it'll match, say, it could theoretically match this Chase Freedom Unlimited and the Chase Sapphire Reserve if you only made purchases through Citi Travel, which again, I don't do. If you are one of those people, let me know in the comment section below. So I know a lot of the things. So one of the things that he talked about was not needing a PhD to use a card. And I'm sure what he's doing is throwing a shot across the bow at the American Express Platinum card. And well, this card here has a lot of credits. The Chase Sapphire Reserve has an insane amount of credits. My personal least favorite is, the delivery credits, the food delivery credits, right? You have to do, I think it's $5 off of dining and then two $10 credits off of separate grocery store or retail runs, which is kind of weird. Now let's take a look at the Citi Strata Elite and those credits. So up to $300 annual hotel benefit. So each calendar year, enjoy up to $300 off a hotel stay of 2 nights or more when booked through citytravel.com. So what I want to do is I want to take a look at, again, the American Express Platinum card, because that seems to have a similar hotel benefit. And that one is $200, but you can redeem it, again, through the Amex travel portal for a fine hotels and resort stay of 1 night or longer, or the hotel collection stay of 2 nights or longer. So having a 2-night requirement for any hotel booking is, well, frustrating, but it seems to be in line with the industry standards. So again, if we're talking about simple, we're kind of there, but kind of not. Now let's take a look at the annual splurge credit. So there's a annual splurge credit, $200, and every calendar year you can earn up to $200 statement credits on your choice of up to 2 of the following brands. The first one is First Dibs. The second one is American Airlines, although it says exclusions apply. And then Best Buy, no exclusions there. Future Personal Training, and Live Nation. So if you're someone who plans to fly in the next year, buy any type of electronic, or go to a concert, well, this could be really easy to use. And so theoretically, you could use the $300 hotel credit, the $200 splurge credit, in 2 separate transactions and get $500 worth of value within the first day of holding the card. And that's certainly more simple, right? It's certainly more simple than, say, getting a Walmart Plus membership that you have to pay for monthly, or get the $15 in Uber Cash every month, but $20 in December because numbers are weird. Now, you also get a $200 annual Black Lane credit with the Citi Strata Elite. And this means that every calendar year you can earn up to $200 in statement credits. It's $100 for the first 6 months of the year, $100 for the second 6 months of the year on Black Lane purchases, which is a premium global chauffeur service. So this is interesting, a little bit harder to use. I don't really know how much more expensive Black Lane is than, say, Uber Black or something like that. So I'll leave that up to the people that are more qualified to talk about that. But one thing that is interesting about these credits is that each one has the specified as each calendar year, not card member year. So calendar year means that if you only hold the card for 1 year, it's possible for you to use that benefit the first year. So if I got this card in July when it first opened, which I don't have it, then I could use the annual hotel benefit, the annual splurge credit. And then in January, I could use it again before I close the card. So that's interesting. So that's really a really solid option. If you are kind of straddling a year and you're planning on doing 2 trips, then that could be really helpful. Now, you can also get Priority Pass Select membership. So each complimentary access or enjoy complimentary access to 1,500 plus airport lounges worldwide. So they actually put a specified dollar here, annual memberships fee valued at $469. I don't think anybody values Priority Pass at that because, well, nobody pays that, first of all. But also, everyone has Priority Pass, at least it's table stakes at this price point. Now, you also have an interesting kind of club lounge access. So this is American Airlines Admirals Club Lounge Access Passes. So every calendar year, you receive 4 Admirals Club Citi Strata Elite passes for access to nearly 50 Admirals Club lounges. So they're saying this is over $300 in value. If you were to purchase day passes, sure. But here's the thing. The problem with this is that with the Platinum card, you get 15 day passes with Delta Sky Clubs. And that means that I could, theoretically, I could enjoy the Delta Sky Club in Orlando when I first get to my home airport. I could also enjoy the Delta Sky Club in Atlanta. And then theoretically, if there is one at my target destination, I could also enjoy the Sky Club there. And that would all count as one visit for my 15 visits that I get each year. Alternatively, though, these are visit passes for the Admirals Club. And so if I were to do that same thing, if I were to enjoy the Admirals Club Lounge in Orlando and then in Charlotte, that would be 2 passes per person, which means that if I were taking my wife, we could go to these lounges, well, the way out, and we'd be out of luck the way back. So it's kind of frustrating, especially for a $595 card, that it only gets you 4 lounges for their key kind of flagship direct transport airline that they're exclusive with. Now, additionally, you also get $120 global entry or TSA PreCheck, and so that's also really solid as well. So now the question here is, did we do it? Did we get some more simple? And if you take a look at the credits, yes, they are at least not worse than any other credit. But they're certainly not more complicated than some of the more egregious credits that, say, American Express or Chase throws at you. So to be fair, that's true. However, the City Night thing, I really wouldn't count on actually getting it. And the fact that you have an elite travel card that you're selling to CNBC, the type of people that watch CNBC casually, people expect to be able to actually travel with their travel card. And you can't do that if you're not using citytravel.com, which is kind of frustrating, right? I really would like to see kind of that change. But anyway, let me know in the comment section below whether or not you agree with this being simple or not. And well, I can't wait to see you guys. Until next time. Bye.